What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studios series Gamer Edition Voyager class Megatron. Here we have the nice box of Megatron. Now, as you guys know, that these games hold a very special place in my heart, as I've done a Let's Play on the entire game for War for Cybertron. Maybe we'll do Vol Cybertron someday. We'll see about that. But really nice packaging, really amazing artwork of Megatron from the War for Cybertron games. More here on the side. Studio Series number 4, Gamer Edition Megatron. Got Megatron here on the side as well. And finally, we also have Megatron's obligatory product shots as well on the back. And then as you can see here, taking a look, there is the display that they give for you. Again, I'm not going to personally take a look at it because I don't really care for them. If you guys want to, obviously, this thing actually looks pretty cool. It has I believe that's the tank, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm looking at it correctly. I believe that's one of the Decepticon tanks. Very, very cool stuff. Overall, really, really nice packaging, but nothing too crazy. I do kind of also like this little bit right here for like a D-pad. Very, very cool. But other than that, nothing too much else to say about the packaging. So let's get Megatron out here and see how he is out of the box. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Studio Series Gamer Edition Transformers Megatron out of his box, and he looks alright. This tank mode does look very cool. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do like the details on this, so we'll take a look here. Very nice detail on the fusion cannon, but this is also one, well, the tank barrel in this case. This is one big gripe I have. This really sucks. I mean, it's nicely molded. I mean, you can see the detail in it, but this kind of sucks. So we'll talk about that more in robot mode. But overall, I mean, there's nice detail on the tank itself. I mean, you can see nice details here and here. Some nice details around here on back. Now, on back, it's kind of eh. I mean, it's whatever. I do think that this is still on par with how the 2010 figure did it. I do have that figure, but again, it's in storage, and I can't really dig it up right now because this is what I'm going to replace it with. I still will replace that figure with this one. I do think that this is accurate as well, but again, it's just this fusion cannon that really bothers me. This is also a little inaccurate if you look at the screenshots in the game, or pictures of it from the game, and even I can throw up some stuff from my Let's Play so you guys can take a look. But like, overall, I mean, it's good. It's, well, okay, it's all right. I do think that the 2010 figures tank mode was a little more accurate than this one was, but I do feel that the robot mode in this is still better than the one in 2010, because I feel the 2010 proportions weren't as accurate as this one is. So overall, it's alright. It's not awful. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. And especially because I'm not going to have my Transformers here in vehicle mode for display, like this guy specifically. I'm not too worried about it, but if you do care about your vehicle modes a ton, I mean, obviously I do care, but, it's okay. It's okay at the end of the day. So, we're going to do some quick comparisons. There's no articulation for the tank barrel, so you can leave that out of that. So, we'll leave Megatron right there. Alrighty, here he is with both Barricade and Bumblebee, and as you can see, this is a little bit of an issue I have with specifically both of them in a way. This is a Voyager figure. This is a deluxe figure, and yeah, I don't understand why Barricade is this big. I really don't get why he is this big and chunky, because in-game, he's a very lean, very, like, slick-looking Decepticon, so to have him this big, I don't know, man. And these two feel about the same in terms of weight as well. Hey guys, here me Monster58 in post-production. Just wanted to throw this in there too. The one thing that I didn't understand about the sizes with these two is that in the multiplayer section, basically Barricade is part of what's known as the Scout class, which is the small, agile, stealthy, sort of clean-up class. And then when you compare it to Megatron's class, which is the Soldier class is the biggest class in the game. They're tanks, they're big, they're the biggest characters, bigger than the leader class like Optimus Prime and characters like that. So it really confuses me why the sizes are so similar between these two, because Barricade should effectively be around Bumblebee's size. But that's all I wanted to say. Back to the video. This guy, I feel, should be a little more substantial than he actually is, like Prime is actually. But I don't know, there's just something wrong to me that this is a deluxe and this is a Voyager. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this is how they scale. Barricade should arguably be like this. Like with Bumblebee. Barricade should be longer than Bumblebee, but not insanely longer than Bumblebee. Just slightly longer, but about the same size. Like, Barricade should arguably be like. So here's Bumblebee. Barricade should arguably be about like this long. You know, something like that. So this is okay scaling, but man, I wish this was a bit bigger in the tank mode. I wish he just was a bit chunkier. Because just looking at this actually kind of hurts. I don't know. Overall, again, it looks fine. I think the 2010 figure did the tank mode better, though, overall. Because especially here, if you look at the top of the tank here, and if you look at it in-game, that has, like, Energon glowing parts here, and there's more of a, like, a V section going this way compared to how this is done. So, again, it's not bad, just my questions lie with Hasbro making this as big as it is for Barricade, you know. Other than that, this guy's really good, though, but... We have Cliff Jumper as well. We'll do a review on him soon. But, yeah. And finally, here he is with his arch rival, Optimus Prime. And if you look at this, again, this is where I kind of have... Like, yeah, they're the same size. But at the end of... Like, they're actually... Megatron's a bit longer. But, I don't know. There's something about Prime that feels more substantial. I'm, you know, shaking him in my hand. There's more weight to this guy compared to this guy. In robot mode, again, I think the proportions are done well. I just wish he was a tad bit bigger and chunkier, especially in this tank mode, because this front is also a little inaccurate with this stuff. And I apologize for, you know, maybe nitpicking too much, but again, these games mean a lot to me, and so I was really looking forward to all these gamer figures. I do think that this is a fantastic figure. I do think that this is a fantastic figure, and this is okay. This is probably the weakest one. But yeah, so these two look nice together. Obviously, they'll look nice on the shelf together. But again, I'm not going to have them in vehicle mode. So there goes that. Alright, and the last thing I'll end up showing is the accessory that he comes with other than the fusion cannon. So he does come with this mace, which is really nice, very accurate to how it was in like the opening cutscene and also accurate to the one in the game. Very nicely molded. I do like all the molded details on this. You can see the purples there as well. You can see all this nice molded detail as well on the handle. Overall, very nice. You can just, there's the 5mm, so you can just plug that on here if you'd like to. It looks ridiculous, but at the end of the day, you know, you do with your toys what you want to do with your toys, right? So there's nothing too wrong necessarily. Oops, sorry about that. Nothing too wrong necessarily with it, but like I don't know, it just looks goofy. So I'm just gonna remove that. And that's about it for the tank mode. Alright, so let's get into transformation. So getting into the transformation, very, very simple. It's not too complicated. So to start things off, first thing I like to do is to remove the fusion cannon from the front of the tank mode. Then what I like to do is sort of basically these whole sections of the tank, both of them are the legs. So you split the legs here, you can just remove them, untab them here, like so. Just rotate them down. I like to do one leg at a time and sort of fan them out just so that you can get the legs in the right position. Now to do the legs, it's rather simple. So what you're going to do here, I sort of like to flare the toes out first. And then what I like to do is basically you start to fold this section in for one of the legs. But what I like to do is basically these tank treads will fold. And so what I like to do is fold this one first, and then you, as you're folding it, you pull the toe out, and then you fold it out like so, and then you can basically what you'll notice is there are two tabs right there, and then there are some holes in there that these will just sort of slot into, and you can hear it snap into place. And then this one tank tread here will fold down like so, and you might have to readjust because it's really funky how these things fold down. Usually the way it'll sit is basically this part will sit right here inside of like the groove section of the back part, and that's what I like to do. And you just sit like that, and then you do essentially have one leg transform. Just rotate it to the front like so, where the chest is right here, and you're good to go. So again, to sort of do it more quickly, fold this out, start to rotate this up, take the foot, rotate it, and then fold it down at the same time. Then as you're folding this, you can just fold this section here, and then sort of like snap it into place for the time being, and then take this other tread piece and fold it down so that sits in that groove section right there with the leg. Then just rotate it to the front like so. And now you basically have the bottom half of Megatron transformed. Getting up here to the top, what I like to do is to take this whole arm section and then, well, not necessarily like that, but you can split it like this and then take the chest and then you just rotate it all the way up like so. Snap it into place and there's the head. All right, now to do the arm section here on the back, basically, sorry about that. That's not supposed to happen. Just plug that back in. That's for the, obviously, the gimmick. But basically, this is tabs, so you can just untab it so it slots into these two little holes right there. So you just sort of untab it. And the next thing here is this is a bit tough, so you just sort of push on the back, because basically this whole arm section's tabbed in. So you just push it up like this, and then you can rotate this around, and then you have the one arm, and then for this arm, just rotate this down. So basically, there's like a locking mechanism for this arm, so all you got to do, similar to Snarl actually, so you just lock that into place, and then just bring that up like so, and then you have both arms. Then for the back section, very simple. Sort of rotate this down, rotate this around, and then plug this up like so, and you have the back well and done. Now finally, for the last part to get the hands out, basically on each arm you'll have a panel, so you just flip it out, and then you just rotate the hand out. Plug the panel back in, which is very nice gap filler. Do the same thing here on this side. Take this around, do that as well. Sort of strain them out a bit. Like so. Do that. Take his fusion cannon. There's a peg here. There's a hole right there in his arm. Plug that right in. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Voyager class Megatron in his robot mode. And I gotta say, it looks good in robot mode. This definitely is more well proportioned than the 2010 figure in my opinion. Now there's some people that have said that maybe he's not as quite as bulky, but I do think that the proportions are done right in this. I might be wrong. I'd love to hear your opinions on that in the comment section below. But overall, I do think that the figure is well proportioned. And I think that it represents his on-screen accuracy very well. I do think it could be a tad bulkier, but nothing too substantial. Overall, I do think it is a very clean-looking robot mode. So you can see here, let's take a look at the details here. So the head sculpt, very, very pretty nice, actually. I very much enjoy the head sculpt on this figure. I think it looks very good and much more accurate than the original one. The chest looks very nice. I like how the tapering of the chest, you can see some nice purple details there on the chest as well. Very nice, like venting, more molded in plastic. You can see some pretty solid details here. Nothing too much and nothing too crazy here as well. Going down here to the legs, I do wish maybe the gray was a little more maybe not as drab as it actually is, but it's alright. And then you go down here for the legs, and the legs look pretty alright. These do kind of look a little chunky, but overall I do think that it adds to the overall chunkiness of him as a whole. And then finally, looking at the back, there's really nothing on the back. Now this is the one gripe I have, is that this is very inaccurate. This is not how Megatron's back looked in the actual game, and as you can see, I'll throw a screenshot just so you guys can actually see that. So here is sort of your view of the figure, and here's the view I have from one of my actual videos of the game right here on screen right now. So you can see this is not accurate, and that's my major gripe with this. And the other major gripe, there's a couple other ones I have with this robot mode. First off, this is just bad. Nicely molded, not painted. Why, Hasbro? Paint this. It's a Voyager figure. Like, where's the budget go? Like, I don't know, man. This is a disappointment. In game, this did not look like this at all. Like, the molding is there. There's no paint. Why? Like, make it match somehow, Hasbro. I don't know, man. That's pretty disappointing to me. Even though I don't think that this is inherently a bad figure, this is just disappointing and makes me sad. Two other things. The one is actually with the articulation, so we'll get into that when we get into the articulation. But the other one is with the arms. I just want to show you something with specifically not this arm. This arm's okay. The right. Look how flimsy that is. There's no reason I should just be able to go like like this. Like, and you can see that it like there's some parts of it. See, like if I do that, sometimes it just goes flops back. See, look at there, exactly. And that's a little disappointing. The arms don't have any weight. The shoulders do. The shoulder parts do. The arms don't have any weight to them. And if you look inside here, I don't see why necessarily. Maybe it's just completely hollow because it feels like it's just hollow in there, and that really blows. That's a little disappointing. Although I do think it's molded relatively nicely. I mean, that just blows, man. Like you can see what I'm saying there. Overall, I do think it looks good. I just do think that the other figures are just more articulated for the most part, and they kind of feel a bit better. So to get into this guy's articulation, head is on a, I believe on a ball joint or a swivel. I can't. I think that's a swivel. No, I think it's a swivel or ball joint. I can't really tell, but you do get a full 360. You can't really look up all that. Well, yeah, actually, you can look up a decent bit. Then you can look down a bit as well, which is actually pretty nice overall. I do think that that's pretty cool. Arms are on a. You can do a full 360 with them. You do get upper. Bicep rotation, you do get really nice bends. Don't get me wrong, you do get nice bends at the elbows, and that's for both of them. You do get very nice bends on both sides. Just to confirm, just so you guys can see, you do get very nice bends on the elbows. No, I believe no wrist articulation. Yep, no wrist articulation at all. Just wanted to double check for that. You do get full waist, so you do get a full 360 for the waist. You can kick forward, you can kick back about that far. Actually, kick back really far, and you can kick forward really far as well. I'll say the kicks are pretty far. This is my other gripe. Look at this. That's your knee articulation. That's it. Let me show you again. There's that. That's your knee articulation. You can't bend it any more forward. And I don't get, like, it's this part. This little thingy here is the part that stops it. And I get it for transformation, but why? Why? It just ruins it. And then for the you get some minor ankle rocker, but these parts get in the way, so you don't get in a ton of ankle rocker. It's okay articulation, nothing crazy. It's just, I don't know. There's some disappointing aspects of this figure that I wish I didn't say, and I want to be super awesome with this figure. And yeah, it still looks really good. Just some of the functionality just doesn't make any sense to me. And some of the design choices they made, especially with the fusion cannon. But I think with that out of the way, let's get into this comparison. So, setting Megatron off to the back there. Here is Megatron with Studio Series Deluxe Class Gamer Edition Bumblebee, and these two scale relatively well together. I do think Bumblebee could be a tad smaller, Megatron could be a tad bigger, but overall, this works. Studio Series Deluxe Class Gamer Edition Barricade, and finally his arch nemesis, Studio Series Gamer Edition Voyager Class Optimus Prime. And this is why I also think that Megatron should be a tad bit taller. I arguably think Megatron should be like this instead. Maybe a little bit bigger, like this maybe, rather than them being head to head. Because if you compare them, they basically head to head. Optimus is actually a little bit taller with his ears there on the side of his head. So overall, still scales real nicely. I just wish Megatron was a little bit bigger, because that's how Megatron historically has been since the 1980s. But overall, still they do look very nice together. It's just, this fusion cannon really blows, man. Alright, so the last thing I'll show is the mace. So you can very easily just plug this into his hand. So you can just go in here and plug it into his hand. It looks very good. It is very representative of what we saw in the beginning cutscene of the game. So this looks very cool. And then if you just don't want to, this is how I'm going to have it on display. You can just store it on his back. So you do have a peg right there, and then you can just store it like this. And I think it actually looks very, very cool when it's stored like this on his back. It makes him look like he's ready for battle. I think that's really freaking cool. Alrighty then, so the last thing we're gonna get into is the reverse transformation. And I like putting the reverse transformation in there because I know that that was always very helpful for me. So, for reverse transformation from robot back into tank mode, get rid of all of the weapons, you remove those. What I like to do first things first, you can twist the legs in. Ooh, yeah, this isn't supposed to happen. This has been a consistent issue with mine, is the leg likes to pop off. So we're just going to try and put that back in. But rotate these legs inwards for the transformation. Just keep them there for a second. Then you can take this top section, and I like to just get this out of the way and rotate the sort of weapon piece around on the front. Then for the arms, take the fists and you can open these sections and just rotate them in. Again, do the same thing here. Just open the fist, open these sections here on the forearms, rotate the fists in, and just close them up and get ready for the rest of it. So for the bottom here, very simple. I just like to take these sections and untab them, and then you can unfold the tank tread areas. Then you can rotate sort of the foot inside and then rotate the entire section like so. Do the same thing here. So I like to untab this section, and then you can just rotate the fold the tank treads out like so, and then you can sort of fold this in and rotate the foot in, and then all of a sudden just sort of rotate this in, and there you go. You have basically this bottom half already transformed. Take the chest, untab this, rotate it down. Take this arm. What I like to do for the left arm is to untab it here, and then you can unlock it here. So unlock it there, and then just sort of rotate this up. Then there are going to be 2 tabs right there in the chest that basically you'll see there's a slot right there, and there's a slot right there in there. And sort of just line these up, and then rotate the arm to the front, and then sort of just feel around. You can sort of line it up by looking at it like this, and then just... We'll take a bit of doing here. Tab that in like so, and then you can just tab this in like so as well. Then for the other arm, what I like to do, so just fold this top section a little more down if you don't have it down already. Rotate this around, and basically there's a tab right there. There is a hole right there, and then you just sort of rest it in there. And then what you'll also notice is that there are 2 tabs right there in the back of the crotch piece, and that there are 2 holes right there on the arm. So you sort of just line this all up. Let that snap into place, and then you sort of line that up, and there you go for the legs. For the arm, excuse me, the arm's already transformed. Then do this section. Just take the entire sections here for the tank, and then all you got to do is rotate them in, and basically you just line them up. So there'll basically be a bunch of tabs along this side that will tab along a bunch of tabs on this side. So just sort of tab those in like so. Get them lined up here. Take a bit of doing. Like that. Got that all tabbed in on the one side. Do the same thing here. Rotate this all the way around. Like this. Tab that all in. Get that all secured. Take the tank. There's a tab there on the barrel, and then there is the big tab right there. All you gotta do is tab that into place like so. And ladies and gentlemen, plug this back on top if you want to. I'm just going to have it for the ending shot. Here we have Megatron back in his tank mode. So, for the Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Megatron, how do I feel about this figure? It's okay. At the end of the day, it has its issues like the articulation, the legs, the hollowness of the feel in the arms, the fact that he's shorter than Optimus Prime. Or about the same size. I feel he should be bigger. The tank mode is also not as accurate as the 2010 one, although I do think the robot mode is more accurate. Overall, it's okay. Would I recommend picking this guy up? If you're a fan of the games, yes. If you aren't, and you do like the design, I mean, go ahead and pick it up. But if you're just collecting everything to collect everything, maybe this is one that you can kind of easily pass on if you're not a big fan of the game design. So, at the end of the day, if I'm going to give this figure something out of 10, probably 6.5, 7 out of 10. It's still good. It's not bad. It's just painfully average. And it's a really disappointing for me, especially someone who, the games meant so much to me. Just to give you guys an idea, I was top 400 in the U.S., like regionally, in Team Deathmatch. Like, that's how much I played this game. I played a ton. I played all the way until the game died and stuff like that. Like, it was a huge part of my childhood, and I knew those maps. I knew everything inside and out. Knew all the characters, all the cheaters that came in at the very end. But yeah, just it's a little disappointing to see the figure turn out like this. But if you're looking to pick this figure up, I picked mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store. Obviously, you can look at Hasbro Pulse as well. I'll leave links to those in the description below. Amazon, I'll also leave a link to the description if I can find the links for all those. But other than that, I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also, follow me on the socials linked in the description below. And with that, guys, I will catch you guys in the next video, and hope you all have a wonderful day. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.